think we're about to get started here. Good morning, everyone. How are you doing today? Get this lighting right. We are not a fiasco like we were yesterday. So, the most important part of the morning, the coffee. Who's out there? I see somebody out there. But, ooh. Ah. Here I am on your Sunday morning to get heavily caffeinated for you. Not that I necessarily feel like I need to constantly drink coffee that much. It's just I feel like I need to drink coffee that much. I honestly wish I didn't drink as much coffee as I do. It's just I gotta do it for to be able to keep up. I know it's a lie. I know all drugs lie. I know that drinking coffee is not making me tired. It's just hiding the fact that I'm tired. It's mostly just numbing and giving the illusion that it's waking you up. But it is the endorphin rush that you get from it is nice in the morning. I definitely drink too much coffee. I definitely drink too much coffee. But then, what would I call the show? Um, I actually didn't drink coffee until I was 40, and then dated somebody that did 3 shots of espresso every morning, which was fine, but I found myself having to keep up. All right. This is the piece that we started yesterday, and it's I'm calling it Kashi Karvat. Kashi is the ancient name for Varanasi in India, and Karvat just means leaning. It's just Hindu for leaning. So basically, it's the leaning temple. I call it the sinking temple. I've got a painting that I've done about this piece, about this photograph or this temple. I've done a painting of it, and I call it the sinking temple. And it's just I don't know, it's like one of those profound images that just says a lot. Here you have this beautiful ornate temple that is leaning and slowly being pulled into the river. And every year the river goes up, maybe to about the halfway point, and then comes down. There's only about 2 to 3 months of the year in the middle of summer where the sanctuary is not filled with water. Um, yeah, so it's just the fact that it's still being used. It's 2 to 400 years old. There's at least artists that have made sketches of this temple going all the way back to 1820. In 1820, it wasn't leaning. Um, Apparently, from what I understand, is whoever built it knew they were building it in the flood area, but I guess everything else was probably taken at that time, and it was probably the only area that was kind of left to do this. There's another one that's almost very similar to this. That's like one level up the steps, because if you see, there's different levels going up these steps to Varanasi. I should pull up some of the pictures that I took and have those ready to go. Um, I can do that off screen. I don't know how I ever operated with only one screen. Ugh, Adobe is advancing faster than I can keep up. Okay, so here. is the photo that I took, and some of the other just say. So if you see here, just up a level, here's a temple, not as ornate, but it's of the same style, and um, but this one is just sinking. It's another shot I took of it. And I love the boat with the refrigerator right in front of it. This is the funeral pyres. So basically what you're seeing here is it's it's what it is. It's the funeral pyres. All of this is sort of sandalwood and like wood to do the burning. And you can see there's like one, two, three, four. There's four fires going at the moment. Maybe five. There might be five. No, there's four. No, there's five. I don't know. I can't count. You can tell I've been playing video games too much. I see vines going up the roof, up a wall. I'm like, oh, I can climb that. All right. Yeah, so this is yeah, so it's just this temple is just down from the funeral pyres. So if you see there in the corner of this space, and then all the way to the sinking temple, or I call it the sinking temple. I think people from the west call it the sinking temple. They call it the leaning temple of Kashi. So it's quite an experience. I mean, just seeing this ancient city sort of, it's almost cresting on the edge of the river like a wave. It's like the architecture and all the buildings just look like this big wave that's about to kind of crest onto the river, of just everybody building on top of everybody to be able to view the river. Yeah, it just goes on and on and on. It's so crazy. The pink thing that you see there is water purification area. It's part of what's helps clean the water before it gets released into the river. Um, I was surprised when I visited India, Varanasi, and the Ganges, how like it's still struggles with being dirty and trash, and you've got this really beautiful aura of ancient architecture that is kind of surrounded and or percolated with trash. But then you've got the sacred river, but they're actually making a serious effort to clean it up and really respect the river, at least in Varanasi again. So it's good that it's heading in the right direction. I still wouldn't go in it, but here's the sun coming up, and this was the winter solstice. We were on the winter solstice, and then this is yeah, just going into the opposite direction. And the fact that there are thousands and thousands of people that come down to the river every single morning, and they've been doing it here for thousands of years. Because this is one of the most sacred sites in Hinduism, and you know the belief is that if you die and are cremated here, or your body is cremated here along the river, you achieve immediate moksha, which is release of the cycle of death and rebirth. So that's their belief in this area, and it's it's wild to be able to watch it in action, and it's just it's weird because it's got this layer of trash, but it's got this layer of ancient just aura. It's got this level of persistence. It's got this level of beauty, and they're all sort of intertwined with each other. And I mean, it's just on top of each other, on top of each other, on top of each other. It's so wild. And some of these buildings that you see with the rooftops, those are typically like the rooftops of like hotels or like just places to stay. I mean, it's like, yeah, it's just constant castle. Yeah. Here's an example. I've got a series of paintings that I've been working on from the experience. These are all oil paintings. These are a little bit pictures are a little bit older. I've been working. These pictures are about 3 years old. I've been working on it a little bit more. Just trying to capture it. Yeah. Woo. So I don't quite have a caption for today. I've got the description down. This is Kashi Korvat, or the like. Basically, it means Varanasi leaning. Is basically how that translates. So basically, the leaning temple of Varanasi is what it's short for. And I don't know. I mean, part of this image is, if it captures that sinking feeling that we get sometimes, that we fight against. Call it entropy, just call it depression, call it the thing that is sucking you into the mud. The thing that you fight against every morning when you get up to go to work the next day. The thing that makes you drink coffee so that you can push through, so that you can get up and do what you need to do. And the thing that you really want to do is sleep for whatever. I mean, the grind, it's a feeling of the grind that gets you. And if you don't know how to balance it and you don't know how to regulate it, you're not going to have a very happy career. You'll be unhappy most of your life. You have to enjoy the work. If you don't enjoy the work that you do, life will be probably a living hell. Unless you can balance it with something else. Something that means something. Or, like coffee. A lie. It is a wonderful one. So this one of the things that I am looking for in doing this exercise every Saturday and Sunday morning is it's these one frame comic things that I've been doing. I don't know what you call them. They're meme comics. I don't know. I'm looking for a style for the graphic novels that I want to do. And I think this is the closest that I've been able to get with how I want the line work and the shading and the colors to come across. But it's still a little bit overexposed, is, I guess is the word. Um, but I like the line work on this. I feel it needs a little bit more depth and darkness to it and a little bit more vibrancy in the colors. But that's an easy fix. That's an easy fix. Because, you know, thinking about how I want to do this and that I'm going to be doing most of the work. And we're talking about, like, I'm doing one or two of these on the weekends. I'm going to have to produce probably a few hundred of these for the graphic novel. And they all are going to need to kind of blend together. They're all going to have a sense of consistency. You know, they're all going to have this aesthetic that matches across all of it. How do I do that without spending, like, I can't spend a week on each frame. Like in Arcane Arena, when I did the cards, you know, I had weeks to work on each card. I'm gonna have, like, I need to come up with an aesthetic and a look that says me, but then I can do quickly and efficiently and consistently, and it's gonna take 2 to 3 years to do. This is what I'm looking at hitting me this fall. So I'm getting ready for it. I'm getting ready for the like this next big project that I'm working on and starting this fall is probably up to this point my Magnus going to be my Magnus opus. You know, unless something else comes after it, but you know, this is like the one thing that, like, I feel above everything else that I'm going to need, that I want to leave behind ultimately. You know, in that sense, you know, one of the things to be remembered, that I want to be remembered for. And I know that may be morbid thinking like that, but here's the thing. I'm an artist. I have hundreds of pieces of work. I want them to survive. I need them to be in places where they're going to survive. You know, that's, you know, at least the hope, you know, that you have for your children. Which is kind of how I look at them. One of the reasons why the pricing on my original work is so high. All right, if you're going to buy one of my original pieces, I need to know that you're going to take care of it, you're going to protect it, and you're going to keep it, in a sense, and you're not going to just throw it in the closet. And if you pay $2,000 for it, I know you're not going to keep it in a closet. You know, because if you just put it in a closet, you're going to burn your house down. It's as simple as that. There's just way too much energy to be putting in a closet. All right. I don't know what like, so I think what I really want to find is the caption. I don't know what to caption this yet. And I don't want it to be silly, because, like, you've lost that sinking feeling, you know. You've lost that sinking feeling. Now you're gone, gone, gone. Yeah. Sometimes I talk like a pirate. Yeah. Sometimes gravity sucks. It's not about gravity. It's about cycles. It's cyclical, fighting the cycles, fighting the inevitable, fighting inevitability, fighting entropy. I don't know. I get stuck in these little situations where I don't know what to call things. They usually name themselves. Usually I start working on them, and as I'm working on them, I'm thinking about them. I'm processing the concepts of the piece, and this piece is that feeling that I feel every morning when I get up, knowing that I've got two deadlines and I've got to get the work done, and I just want to take a nap all day, and because I'm tired, not because I'm lazy. It's just you know, um, I don't want to do the work today, and no, I'm not gonna do the work today. I'm not gonna do the work today. That type of feeling. I don't know, but just, I mean, here's the thing. Let's go. Let's go to the photo. Let's see if I can grab the photo. There's a photo. It's just look. The thing is, when you're I mean, the photo may say 1,000 words, but it does not even equal a bit of the feeling of being there in this presence. As like the sun's coming up across the river and hitting this thing, and you see this intricacy in the architecture, and you're like, how did they build this? How did they do this? And the fact that it's leaning, and yeah, it's being pulled by the river, and like, look at the trash amongst it. You know, it's this sort of crossroads of so many different just threads of beauty and archaic, and you know filth and dirt, and persistence and elegance, and it's, I don't know. I mean, it says so much. This picture says so much. And like the massing of the architecture and the emptiness of the staircase. Yeah, it's captivating. It draws me in. Every single line of the perspective that is broken by nature breaking through. You know, the debris scattered amongst from the wind. I thought these were two people that were sitting at a table, and there's one person looking. That like this entire photo looks like it's got one person in it. Let's see. Where can we find other people? Yeah, that's the crazy thing about this photograph, is there's so much in this, but then here in this little tiny corner is the back of the only person that's just sitting there. And I'm assuming that this is a prayer, and these are deities that are painted on that wall, because that's what's here. It's like everybody finds their sacred space or sanctuary at the river where they can ground themselves, every morning or even throughout the day. And it's just that keeps them on the thread that they're trying to follow. I love Sanskrit language. It's one of the most beautiful, beautiful languages, or the alphabet. It's one of the most beautiful alphabets, and one of the oldest alphabets in the world. Yeah, so up here on top of this building, you've got the guest house. And I've always wanted to go back. I only got to spend 2 days in Varanasi. And I want to go back and spend 2 weeks with like a portable easel, and just go and just. And it's funny, the entrance to these hotels is like, it's like in the middle of a labyrinth because you go into these tunnels and these corridors and you'll be walking down these corridors and all of a sudden a motorcycle will go revving by you and these corridors are only like 6 foot wide and then all of a sudden you're walking down this alleyway and walking down this alleyway and then all of a sudden you're in the lobby of a hotel and you have no idea where the door was. It's the craziest thing, and then you go up like 5 to 6 flight of stairs and then you get on a balcony like this. And um let me see if I can find a picture of the rooftop. So ultimately, you'll get up on the rooftops and ah! So this is kind of how how crowded it gets. Oh, let's maybe it's back. This was a festival that was going a religious ceremony festival that was going on. No. I need to archive those. Yeah, so you get up to the top of this rooftop, and it's this rooftop kingdom. And just on top of each other. All right, enough of that. Very good friend of mine, but it was a long time ago. All right. So, what the hell does that all mean in like 5 words? What the hell does that all mean in 5 words? Oh, I curse too much. I I've come to realize that my cursing is a defense mechanism that keeps people away. If they can't handle my cursing, they're not going to be able to kind of handle me. And it's kind of more of a test that I do around people to see how they react. Um, because I mean, because I'm a person that doesn't like to hide stuff. I don't. Everything's up front and center. I mean, we have a saying in Atlanta, Georgia. We don't hide our crazy. We put our crazy up on our front porches and make it dance. And so, like, I have nothing to hide. I don't ever want to have to hide anything. I don't want to have to walk on eggshells around people. Um, so it's a defense mechanism. I am trying to do it less and less and less, and I'm working on it. So, wow, I have been talking for 30 minutes so far. Oh, yeah. So what I'm trying to do is this one is just really practicing my line work. And what I'm trying to do is what I'm doing in this moment is it's about the fine in this piece. It's about the edges and which edges need to be emphasized to kind of divide certain areas to give a sense of thickness to, like, I want the outline of this temple to be solid enough so it feels gives it a sense of being heavy and sinking, whereas I want to push the buildings and stuff into a more faded background to make them look lighter and that they're fading away, you know. And it's doing those and just and really it's just focusing on those two lines, you know. That's all the contrast that I need in the image. I don't need to put more and pile more of the story or that onto the image. I mean, it's about the heavy temple sinking and the fading away of the background, which is going to emphasize the message that I'm trying to capture in the image. And then you do this, it's like, how much information and story can I get into the image with as little words as possible? All right, the words are just like an accent to what is being portrayed in the image. And again, all of the words, it even goes down to the name of this series, Forever is Fleeting. Forever is a lie. The only thing forever is change. It's like the fundamental law of the universe. Everything is in a constant state of movement. Even when you're sitting still, there are trillions of atoms and electrons that are buzzing around in your body that make up who you are. So even when you're still, you're in a state of movement. And then when you leave, your pieces become in the wind and become a state of movement. Everything needs to keep moving. Some things just have found ways of moving together, like a planet. Here's your deep thought for the day. I don't know. I think I'm hoping the I don't know if the nature sounds are too loud. Let me back off on those a little bit. When I first started streaming, I used to try to have music in the background, but then videos kept getting taken down for, like, kept fighting copyright infringement, stuff like that. So now what I do is I just have nature sounds in the background, which are completely chaotic, and I just need something there. I need, like, the white noise. I don't know. I like the white noise in the background. It helps me mentally focus. All right. So what I was saying is there's the temple here and there's the background I need to work on. And a lot of it is I don't want to do, if you show you the difference, I don't want to do a solid, hard, heavy line like this, right? That's not what you want. You got to be very light on it. And luckily with tablets, especially with Wacom tablets, you can be very light on the pressure on the pen. And you want to have breaks in the line. You don't want it to be like, you want it to kind of go back and forth between, like, heavy when like heavy with the shadow, and then light when there's, when you want to bring it forward. Heavy with the line when you want to. But then yeah, there's two things that balance each other there, because the heavier the line, the closer it's going to look to you. But then also the heavier the line, the deeper the shadow. So you got to kind of find a balance for it. To see there that helps define that edge between the temple and the background. And I need to do it up here. There we go. Whee! I'm liking this texturing that I'm getting in the color. I'm liking the purple that's coming out through the grays. Ah, one of the secrets of my palette is I throw purple in all of the gray. All of my gray has purple in it, and it's something that I've found where when I first started painting landscapes and I tried to paint clouds in the sky, I tried to just do just basic gray for the clouds to do the shadows in the clouds, and it just never looked right. And then I remember the epiphany that I had one day just kind of staring at the clouds, and I'm just like, there's purple in the gray. And then the moment I started putting purple in the gray in the clouds started getting real and had that depth to it. So ever since then, I think this was maybe like fifth or sixth grade, like almost 40 years ago. Um, I put purple in my gray. There's French gray where they have sort of brown cream, like a brown is put into the gray. It's for me, it's putting purple in the gray makes the gray really deep. Makes it gives me a different sort of dimension to my shadows. Love the little tiny tricks. The little tiny tricks and things. It's not really a trick. It's just these little nice intricacies that we find like, oh, that's neat. And then we make it sort of like it becomes part of our voice, part of our work that we do that connects it together. So in a subtle way, all my grays have that purple, then there's that sense of consistency that makes the pieces more me, so that they feel like they connect in a better way. All of the things. And especially like on these trees with the line work, just you put the heavy underneath where you want the leaves to be, and then you get really, really light up on top. So like you're giving it that sense of depth to it, throwing in a little bit of the chaos, because trees, like most everything that's in nature, has a big underlying layer of chaos to it that you just gotta be really loose with and intuitive with your approach. I like this, but I don't really see it as the final like aesthetic for what I want to do with the graphic novel. I think this is kind of capturing how I want to do the line work, but not necessarily the coloring. The depth is there, the composition is there. Yeah, my compositions are solid. My compositions are solid in this series, and it's mostly stemming from learning, like, finally after 5 or 6 years, knowing how to take a photograph, or maybe 10 years now. You want to learn how to do something, just start doing it, and just keep doing it, and then you just find better ways to do it along the way, and then it just gets better. Rather than thinking about, oh, I want to get better by, you can't think yourself forward. You mostly just stay stuck in the couch. There we go. Now I can start. All right. Now what I want to do is I want to pull in some more purple on my line work. One of the wonderful contrasts that I like to play with is really fine, elegant architecture against chaotic nature behind it. Almost like nature is consuming the piece. That was too hard. Really sort of just as simply as possible, accentuating the geometry that I want to pop forward. Like that. I mean, this is the most important part of this piece, is right here. It's like, purple in the gray. There we go. Whee! Yes. Really liking how the line work and the geometry is popping on this. All right. Still haven't figured out the caption yet. Sinking temple. What is this image trying to say? I know what I'm saying. I'm saying more coffee. What to do here? God, I can't. I'm just so blank. I am just so blank right now on words. Maybe there aren't any words. Maybe we lose the caption. Hmm. All right. I will be right back. Okay. I consulted with the bathroom, and in the bathroom, it at least gave me a direction. The bathroom at least gave me a direction. And it will be what it is for the moment. Anyway, um, the first thing that comes to mind, time keeps on ticking. It kind of keeps with the theme of playing on words that people would be familiar with. Time keeps on ticking. all it needs to be. That's all it needs to be. Coming back here. All right. I need to go thicker than that. Oops. I don't know. Do we put ellipses in there? Oh no. Oh my. Okay. Time keeps on ticking. Or tick tock. What's a good? What would be? What's a good Floyd line from their song? Ooh. Far away across the field, the tolling of the iron bell. The sun is the same in the relative way. Or, and you run to catch up with the sun. Yeah. The sun is the same in a relative way. The time is gone, the song is over. Thought of something more to say. Hang on in quiet desperation. The sun is the same. Yeah, I don't know. I like that one. Let's try that. Let's see here. Cut your holder. I'm going to use the ellipses there. All right. I think that is going to be the caption because I don't want to think about it too much. This kind of captures what I wanted to do say. The song kind of goes with the song I'm referring to, definitely goes along with the feeling in the image. Um, so now I'm just going to basically touch this up for an hour and be done with it. And that's the key is don't sit and dwell on this. Stay true to the deadline and it doesn't need to be perfectly perfect. So, anyhow, I hope you all have a good day and